This is a Desmos graph that I made using the Desmos graphing calculator to help me solve a constructed response question that MCAS used a couple of years ago in the grade 10 test. This question has 4 parts, the problem starts with. Lines F and G and points P and Q are graphed on this coordinate plane. The equation of line F is y equals 2. So line F is this horizontal line because horizontal lines have only a y coordinate, the same y coordinate, and you'll notice that the y-intercept is 2. Every point that lies on line F is going to have a y coordinate of 2. So horizontal lines start with y equals 2. The equation of line G is y equals 2x minus 1. And you'll recall when lines are in slope-intercept form, the minus 1 is the y-intercept, and up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1 is the slope. So that's why the equation of line G, this green line, makes sense. Part A, write an equation of a line that is parallel to line F and passes through point P. So we want another horizontal line, right? And we've already just reviewed the fact that horizontal lines start with y equals something. So we want a horizontal line passing through point P, where every y coordinate of points that lie on this line is -1. So we're going to write y equals -1. And our explanation is something like horizontal lines start with y equals. There is 0 slope. Every y coordinate of points that lie on a horizontal line are the same. And so I've just graphed it, and I notice that my equation is correct because it matches what I wanted it to do. I think I'll change the color to something else by pressing and holding. Okay, so now we're going to go on to part B. Write an equation of a line that is parallel to line G and passes through point P. Now we know that line G has a slope of 2. We've already talked about that. So any line that's parallel to line G will also have a slope of 2. Now we understand what slope means. It means rise over run. And we want it to pass through point P. So you want to use the graph. This is one way you could solve this as a way to track points that would lie on the line in part B. Starting here, you're going to go up 2 and to the right 1, and then up 2 and to the right 1. And you can see that the y-intercept of the line from part B is going to be 3. We know that the slope is 2 because parallel lines have the same slope. So with y equals mx plus b, I believe we just said that the y-intercept should be 3. We can see that the yellow or the orange line and the green line are definitely parallel, so we are confident with our answer for part B. You just need to explain your thinking on how you got the equation of that line using words like slope, parallel, y-intercept, rise over run. Okay, now we're going to go to part C. Write an equation of the line that is perpendicular now to line F. Okay, line F is this red horizontal line. So a line that is perpendicular to a horizontal line will be a vertical line, and we want it to pass through point Q. So a vertical line that passes through point Q would pass through points with an x coordinate of 3. So if horizontal lines start with y equals, then vertical lines start with x equals. X equals what? Well, all the x coordinates are going to be the same, and one of the points that lies on the line has an x coordinate of 3, so we want x equals 3. So we want to start making sense of the equations and the graph by looking at the pictures, right? Now every point that lies on this line has an x coordinate of 3. And so now I know part C, my answer is correct. I just need to explain. How did I know that it starts with x equals? Use words like horizontal, vertical. Talk about the slope, that vertical lines have undefined slopes if you want to. All right, now we're going to move on to part D. Write an equation of a line that is perpendicular to line G. All right, remember line G was this green line and passes through point Q. All right, so if it's perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. Well, line G had a slope of 2, or 2 over 1. So the line in part D is going to have a slope Ignore when it says slide, or you can ignore that. But I'm going to use the point slope form of a line. And a line that's perpendicular to line G will have a negative 1/2 slope because it's the opposite reciprocal of 2 over 1. And here's the point that it passes through, 3 comma negative 2. So my x-coordinate, right? My x-coordinate is 3. So this x1, I'm going to change this to the number 3. Now ignore the minus sign. That's part of the formula. That's part of the point slope form. I'm only changing my x-coordinate here. My y-coordinate is negative 2. So I'm going to just change y1 to negative 2. And it's okay to have 2 negatives. If that bothers anybody and you'd rather change it so you have a positive, you can do that. Either answer here would be correct. And notice what just happened. We drew a line passing through point Q that is perpendicular to G using the point slope form of the line. Make sure you explain your thinking fully.